All right, so I watched Shakur versus Patley. Again, I know some people was mad because I panned the performance, but it wasn't really the performance. It was the fact that the fight was boring, you know, from an entertainment perspective. So I wanted to watch again just to see maybe if I was, you know, being a little bit harsh. And plus, it's always good to watch fights again, but I want to watch this time, try to see if I can get some more entertainment out of it, whatever and whatnot. So I went ahead and I watched this fight, and I walked away feeling the same way. The fight's boring. It ain't no way of getting around it. I don't care if you talking from a hardcore, from a casual perspective, even from a science perspective, it's boring. And ultimately, I figured out why. Like, this fight helped me realize everything about Shakur. You know what I'm saying? It suddenly just hit me. It was like an epiphany. You know what I'm saying? It hit me with Shakur. And I seen why we look at his fights as boring. Number one, he makes everything into a jab fest. And the biggest key is that he doesn't use his left hand. There's a lot of instances where he's supposed to use his left hand, and some shit he did in here. I ain't even understand how you got to do backed up to the ropes. You walk right up on him and you throw up the high guard. Like, what the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of instances where he should have used his left hand and he just didn't. You know what I'm saying? And I watched him draw back a left hand from the 80s and clock it right on him. You know what I'm saying? Right on him. Didn't even move him. Matter of fact, I watched one of Shakur punches bounce off Patley's head. Like, it hurt him more than it did Patley's head. Like, he has no power at all. But anyway, when I looked at it, I figured out that Shakur is never going to be that guy that he's talking about, that finisher, that killer, because physically he can't. Because Shakur hands is shot. Both of them. Both his hands is shot. Now, I thought it was his right hand that was messed up, but it's his power hand that's messed up. And that makes all the sense in the world to me. Now I understand why. Now I understand it all. Because a lot of instances, he need to be throwing that left, he just doesn't. And he can't. Because he already messing it up. And it's the crazy part. If you messing your hand up off the little bitty power that you do generate, can you imagine if you hit any harder? Your hand is shattering and you 27. Your body's not going to regenerate as fast or heal as quick than it is right now. And you got brittle hands like that? And that's your power hand? It makes all the sense in the world. And if that left go, oh my God, it's over with for Shakur. If Shakur left hand fuck up, how you gonna jab his way out of shit? How you gonna do it? I've already seen him fight with one hand. And you know what? It was his left hand again. Both his hands is jacked up. And he young. He's young. He just brittle, man. He just a weak dude. He's weak. I ain't saying that to be funny. I mean, physically, really, he's weak. I watched Patley back him up. He wasn't even moving Patley. Once you watch that fight again, I don't care if you a fan or critic, you have to admit Patley was the one that made this whole fight interesting. The most interesting aspects of the fight came from Patley. All of them. Go watch again if you think I'm bullshitting. Watch it. But it all makes sense. He can't finish nobody. He can't put nobody away. He probably can't throw to his highest potential anyway because his hands is always hurt, which means he's fighting most of these dudes at probably 60, 75%. That is impressive. But it ain't gonna get the job done. And if your hands is fucking up now, see, this is why I keep talking about these dudes jack off on strength and conditioning like it's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about just having the cardiovascular, you know what I'm saying, to run a mile without barely blinking. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about fortifying the frame. When you see Tank Davis train, that's one thing that I like about Tank. When you see Tank Davis train, besides all that pad work, what is the main thing you see Tank doing? Strength and conditioning. Fortifying his frame. Okay? You need a strong frame. That's in any sports. You need to build a strong frame. And I don't know why they demonize weights as much as they do. They don't need to. Weights don't do shit to you. That's a myth. As long as you keep your range of motion good, you straight. But he needs some weights. Draw some calcium into them little brittle ass bones. I see a lot of that, but when you see Tank, what is he doing? Tank doing something with some weights, with 5 chains on, dipping, you know what I'm saying? All kind of shit. Power squatting, all that shit. I don't see none of these. Matter of fact, when did Errol Spence shit start to fade? Supposedly, what they say the first reason his power started to fade. What? And he started looking flimsy. When? When he stopped strength and conditioning with Blu-ray. Remember? Before then, it was killer. He breaking bones. He said, fuck that strength and conditioning. He started looking frail, easily pushed around the ring. You see what I'm talking about? You gotta fortify that frame, man. But his hands fucked up. He'll never be, he'll be one of the biggest disappointments in the sport. I'm not being harsh, I'm being for real. This is why he went 9 rounds with that dude. Because truthfully, that fight should have looked like, if anything, he should have made that fight look like Mayweather versus Gotti. And ironically, that's the fight that fucked up Floyd's hands. But that's what it should have looked like. If it's gonna look like that, it should have looked like that. Now that's a technical masterpiece. Was it boring? That's one of the most entertaining fights I've ever seen in my life. And that was a technical masterpiece. Wasn't no knockout fest. He picked that dude apart, bro. That's what Shakur was supposed to make it look like, but he couldn't. His hands fucked up, man. And I don't know where he's gonna go from here. But tell me what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.